Greetings, this is Jazz for JazReviews, bringing you the latest on Aliens Colonial Marines, developed by Gearbox, published by Sega. Well, I'd love to know who pre-ordered this title. I sat down on release and didn't stop until I beat the campaign. But did I beat it the same day? Are we talking Borderlands quality? Or Duke Nukem? Let's find out. For those new to my reviews, I will always maintain a well-informed, balanced approach to reviewing games and hammer the negatives only if they need addressing. The problem here lies with the fact that you're not going to find many positives, at least not from a professional review stance.
What the hell is going on?
As an Aliens fan, it was important to me this game went about its business in the Alien way, and there's plenty of nostalgia to be had here. In fact, it could be the most positive point to the entire playthrough, from the Sulaco spaceship to the remains of Hadley's Hope, but it gets repetitive fast. Familiar locations do not save the game from poor development and sheer predictability. Graphically speaking, setting can be everything in what has been dubbed as a horror game. Colonial Marines is a run and gun game of the most simplest form. There really isn't all that much horror here, and its setting is by no means complemented by extremely shoddy animations, muddy textures, last-gen feeling cutscenes, and the most pathetic lens flare I've seen this gen. Oh, have you ever seen the lens flare? Stay there and look up.
Well, that really... Wow.
It's terrible. The only element that actually looked as if it were built for current hardware was the inconsistent lighting.
Wow, you should see these shitty smoke effects here.
Oh, I can't look at me.
These shitty smoke effects.
How is this shit still falling?
Right in front.
Movement. Winner, provide a base of fire.
The worst made game of all time.
However, in the tacked-on drop-in 4-player co-op, there was still a lot of laughs to be had. Admittedly, most were at the engine and these kind of things.
Nice try, oh, why you died?
Oh yeah! As a direct sequel to the Aliens movie, the plot involves a second platoon of Marines to investigate what happened to the first. Naturally, the narrative unfolds exactly as expected, but with a slight human twist, all for gameplay purposes. As a result of this Wayland Corporation, the Xenomorphs are completely marginalized, with entire levels dominated by Corporation fuckwits, whilst aliens are imprisoned. As the squad progresses, the aliens really don't seem that big a deal. They went about it completely the wrong way.
I swear to God, I will blow his head the fuck off!
The main problem lies with a meaningless story with no sense of character from anyone in your squad. The entire playthrough seems like the developers just wanted to get you through the motions and all of its pre-existing typical alien scenes with absolutely no fresh ideas. The truth is, I would have been more than satisfied with this formula if Gearbox delivered a game that actually functioned more like a AAA title and not a low, medium budget movie game. The upgrade system provides for a certain level of control over a range of weapons, but that isn't saying much when the supposedly sophisticated marine hunters possess little more than a few brain cells. The human AI too made for some of the most ridiculous encounters I've seen. The computer-controlled characters on your own team were abysmal. The very first pulse rifle and pump-action shotgun were in my opinion the most effective guns in the game. The all-famous smart gun given out in one sequence did feel pretty damn cool though. The upgrade system and character customization options are pretty expansive, which all interlinks with the multiplayer, so that's a plus. But the game is foremost a shallow first-person shooter, integrating poor attempts to up the scare factor. The midway stealth sequence was funny, not so much horrifying exactly, but it was one of the few sequences that actually worked, and it was a lot of fun.
But it's terrifying.
Scared the living piss out of me.
What the? What the hell is that? This game is mind-blowing. Now the motion tracker just couldn't be used in any way more effective than simply holding your gun pointed at the end of each repeated corridor and washed out tunnels. Why? Because the enemy AI totally sucked. The all-feared terrifying acid was sure dumbed down in addition to other things. Mission structure is as basic as A to B routes, requiring some button pushing along the way. The game does occasionally pit you out against some of the larger boss Xenos, which, to be fair, were a lot of fun to play on foot, mainly due to the ultimate badass difficulty mode.
I am the ultimate badass. Yeah.
And this difficulty is a must if you are going to play the game, because otherwise it's just too ridiculously easy. The power loaders themselves, on the other hand, played terribly, with none of the extra gadgets such as the flamethrower promised by developers. In fact, the actual demo showed in E3 2011 turned out to be nothing but a mismanaged tech demo, for the convention only. None of these things or sequences even made it to the game, and so that was misrepresented. It would be safe to tell you now that the final Queen boss fight was more than underwhelming, which came across as nothing but poor laziness, consisting of even less brain cells for the Queen Xeno. Multiplayer is a different ballgame. It doesn't necessarily make for a better game, but there is a certain aliens charm to it all. The escape mode, my favourite, where 4 Marines seek to escape unrelenting swarms of aliens whilst deploying turrets, all in anticipation of what lies ahead. And with actual players instead of shoddy AI, the multiplayer felt a lot more aliens than the entire campaign. As the aliens, you can crawl on walls, and there is a certain satisfaction knowing you're playing as one of the most vicious creatures ever invented. But with dodgy hit detection, glitchy movement, and inconsistent wall crawling that really doesn't flow well at all, it all really minimises the amount of satisfaction, thus maximising your frustration with the gameplay mechanics. The Alien franchise deserves better. I do appreciate the nostalgic moments with a game that seeks to put the player in those movie situations, but the Alien experience is half ruined purely down to pathetic quality control. Gearbox PR have once again tried to defend the game, declaring some of the game was outsourced to Tailgate Games and the multiplayer to Nerve, but that is absolutely no excuse. This title was deliberately outsourced, which only bumped up the production time. Gearbox do not give a damn. Gearbox have failed consumers once again, and there should be no defense considering the amount of love people have for Alien and Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem Forever does have the half-assed excuse of being thrown through a ton of developers before it was made, but with both titles, our man Randy Pitchford here was the responsible decision maker.
Advantage that this game gets, because it's Gearbox software building it, is we're not settling. You know, like a lot of games based on licenses, they become kind of work for hire projects, just milking a franchise.
Two massive, iconic models converted into video games that equate to these kind of scores. In conclusion, Borderlands remains their one and only testament as to why they are still in business. Aliens Colonial Marines will go down as one of the biggest disappointments for 2013, and we've barely started the year.
That's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? Where's some real pretty shit now?
This has been Jazz for JazReviews. You should definitely buy this 5-hour-long full retail price game if you value Duke Nukem Forever, and I know that some of you do. And there is also a season pass for already announced DLC, which has been made and such, but will be implemented later instead. You will find this game in a Steam sale on PC before long. If you and a friend can manage to grab it for under $15, do it. It's almost too funny to pass up. Otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I am really looking forward to reading the comments and feedback for this review. Follow me all you want on Twitter if you wish, which can be found in the description below.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Next review: Metal Gear Rising.
Metal Gear Solid Rising.